Okay, very good morning to all of you once again for this second session of ours. Okay. Okay. Very good morning to everyone. So let us
Good.
pray to God that everything works fine in this today's session and all of us learn a lot from each other. So welcome to this session of habit building and towards today. Yes, last week we talked about the physical side of the world. Today we are going to move into the mental side of the world, right? And I just want to ask a question from you. What do you think is the importance of this mind? When we talk about the mind, we're talking about emotions, we're talking about mind. So, any views from your side before we start the session? Just open up the house a little bit. Yeah,
The
Sachi.
it's the most important part of our body. Like it's said, we become what we think every day. We talk about it. So if we don't set our mind in the right direction, our complete all the activities go in the wrong direction. So mind is the most important part.
Right. Great. Nicely put, nicely articulated, Sachi. Mind is very, very important. Anyone would like to add value to this point of Sachi, what she said?
Thank you, sir.
I'm to tell something that I've read the first chapter of Thought Power. Can you give me 5 minutes to read it?
Yeah,
To
go
tell
ahead.
it.
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead, Anurup.
Today I'm going to share some of my learning from a book titled Thought Power.
Can
This
you
is
switch on your camera, Anurup?
yeah. This is authored by Sri Swami Shivananda.
Beautiful.
Now, what is thought? Thought is an idea which is created by thinking.
Nice.
Thought in our mind can travel anywhere, anytime, in no time. For
Beautiful.
example, my grandparents are in Jaipur, Odisha. In my thoughts, I can be with them in no time. I can be with Prime Minister Narendra Modi traveling with them. I can be with Shah Rukh Khan watching an IPL match. In this way, thought has got a great power. Our
Lovely.
thoughts can be very fine. They are invisible, but you can imagine how much power it has. Our thoughts can be as solid as an iron ball. Our thoughts can be pure if we eat pure. If someone with pure thought speaks, he can be a very powerful influencer. He can leave deep and long lasting impression on our minds. Pure thoughts can be as sharp as an edge of a sword. Our thoughts get influenced by where we live, with whom we live, what we eat, what we drink, with whom we talk, with whom we work, etc. Thought has got so much power that it can heal any disease also. Thought can transform your mentality. Thought has got dynamic force. If you send positive thoughts as vibrations, then you will get positive vibrations back and vice versa. Thoughts are living things. Stronger the thought you have, faster is the potential to realize it, provided you to give the right direction to it. In our olden days, saints used to have such great powers by which they could send and receive messages from far places using telepathy. So we also can have such powers by practicing our mind regularly by means of mental exercise, meditations, eating sattvic food, doing regular physical exercise, etc. Every one of us has different mental capacity to think, understand things and acting according to our understanding. When two people of similar mental makeup come together, they understand each other and they become good friends. In our brain, we should not store useless information. We should get rid of negative and useless thoughts and fill our brain with more meaningful, divine, and constructive thoughts. This will this will help to improve our mental strength. Yoga is something which helps in purification and control of our mind. So we all must practice yoga to train our mind to help us generate positive thoughts. Thank you.
Fantastic. I think he deserves a big hand. I think everybody can switch on your mic and give a big hand to our young participant out here. And I think Anurup has done a wonderful work. Wonderful, wonderful. We have started the morning with a bang with Anurup's, introduction to this whole topic. And I think, Anurup, thank you so much for this. And hats off to you at your young age. If you have read Swami Sivananda's book of Thought Power and you're able to articulate it so well, I think hats off. Really, really well done, Anurup.
Fantastic, Anurup. And
Thank
I think we are all proud of you and proud of your proud parents as well. I think it's very important to create the right kind of environment at home.
Absolutely.
And I feel great honor. Akshay and your mom, I think both of you are actually doing fantastic in shaping you to a bright future. Thank you so much.
And
Yeah.
before we move on to the topic, I think today happens to be a Mother's Day. So when you mentioned about his mom, I think if there are mothers out here, I do not know about Sachi's, and I think
Yeah,
Vidya is also joined.
Sachi, Vidya, both of them are moms.
Mothers. So very, very happy
Yeah.
Mother's Day to you. And it's a very auspicious day for us to have this session on the mind also. And I think Anurup has really, really started the day with a beautiful thought from Thought Power. And it's one of my favorite books also, Anurup, to just tell you the fact. Thought Power has been has been with me right for the last 15 years. And I literally, go by the book. It's like a Bible for me. So I literally go by every word of the book. It's an amazing, amazing book. Those of you who haven't read it, I must say that you must download it. It's available free of cost. The PDF is available. And it's one of the pioneering books in this whole concept of psychology and how mind-matter interaction happens. Great.
I
Lovely.
would also recommend to buy it, sir, also because it's not very expensive.
Not at all expensive.
And we should actually encourage our old scriptures and books. So I would recommend also to buy it. In fact,
Yeah.
I read it again after we started this program. I read it for the second time again, this book.
Fantastic. Yeah. There is so much of learning in these books that every time you read it, you learn something new from it, So the learning never ends. These are the beauty of our old scriptures, that these Swamis, when they wrote these books, the more you read it, the newer information you get from it. Something more you learn from it. Something more you perceive from it. So it's a never-ending vidya, So it's a beautiful concept that we have in our scriptures, and I would recommend, as Sir rightly brought out, we should try and buy these books and keep at least some good books with us. And Thought Power is one of the books I think you must buy and keep it in your library. It's wonderful to have it in the family because it kind of inspires you. It kind of helps you to think. So I think great. Anyone else would like to add some value to this? It's open. House is open. Vidya ma'am, you can also try. If you want to say something, share your views. So great. So now understand what Anurup just brought out. In those olden days, The Swami Sivananda did a lot of research. A lot of our seers and sages did a lot of research on this. There used to be this concept of, so a lot of these concepts of, what happens in our mind, what happens in our body, how this mind and body interact with each other. So last time we talked about, the body, the physical part of it. And we said, it's very important to, generate that energy and all that stuff. And habit has to be there and all that stuff. We talked about it. We'll talk about it later also. But now let's come to the point of this mind. Why is the mind more important? Like what Sachi brought out, or like what Anurup just mentioned here. The mind is got the power of, I would say, the power of 8 elephants. 8 elephants. Do you think that you can control our mind? How many of you think that you can actually control your mind? Raise your hand. Anurup can control his mind. Wow, I love this. I love this. Anurup, it's easy to say that, but no, when situations happen in our life, जब कभी लड़ाई होती है, जब किसी के साथ हमारा झगड़ा हो जाता है, suddenly anger comes. Suddenly we start shouting. Suddenly reactions happen. It's so difficult to control at that point in time. Do you agree with me? It's very difficult to control, isn't it?
Yeah. If you meditate, then you won't get angry.
Yes, but you know what? This word meditation is not so easy. Is it easy to meditate?
Evil thoughts will try to come out.
Absolutely. So what happens is, doing meditation is a very big word. How many of us in the normal world, when we are working, when we are going to school, when we are doing our studies, and you say, okay, close your eyes and meditate. Do you think it is possible, so easy to do it? Prithvi, what do you think? If you just close your eyes and sit down, do you think meditation will happen?
Sir, I actually have some experience with this because the school I go to makes us do meditation every day as a routine. We have a full period. So I believe, yes, it does help because when I go to school, my mode of transportation to school is walking. So after I walk, I'm a bit tired. After I go there, I close my eyes. I'm definitely refreshed.
So great. So those of you who are into practice, yes, it is possible. But not many of us are into practice. And, meditation is something that's very deep. And, as you grow older, for children, I believe it could be easier. But as adults, as we become adults, as we get into the world, what happens is too many thoughts keep running in the mind. And thoughts are something that you don't have to literally force it to come into your mind. It just comes, isn't it? And what comes spontaneously? Now, this is psychology. This is science of psychology for you. What comes spontaneously is the negative thoughts. Right or wrong? If somebody, for example, you're going out of your house and, you're going in your car or a scooter and some auto rickshaw chap comes and just hits you and goes away and puts a scratch on your car or your scooter. What is the immediate reaction you will have?
Shout at him.
Will you not feel angry at that moment, initial moment? Yaar, mere naye gaadi ko scratch kar diya. Immediately that auto rickshaw driver's face or that person's face comes in front of you and you feel like, what is this guy? How can he do this to me? And if that chap smirks at you and, doesn't bother and walks away from there, then what happens? You get more angry, isn't it? So this is natural. And this natural reactions that happen with us, they happen very spontaneously. It does not take time. It happens in microseconds. And that's how the science is. This brain of ours has got something called a hindbrain. It's called amygdala. Now that amygdala was designed for a fight or flight response. That means when you see danger, you're supposed to react to the danger. So it was designed for that. So what happens is that same design gets utilized in every situation in our life. So whether you like it or not, when things start happening in your life, you would respond in a very fast manner. But however, there is another part called the frontal lobes of our body, frontal lobes of the brain. The frontal lobes of the brain or the frontal part of the brain is where your positive thoughts remain. But positive thoughts have to be reinforced. Positive thoughts cannot be spontaneously generated. For example, you go for a holiday and you're enjoying a sunset on the beach, and next day morning, you're returning back to school or to office. So when you are coming back from there, what is coming in your mind? Tell me, when you're coming back from that place in a holiday, what is there in your mind spontaneously? You're thinking about your class, isn't it? Tomorrow I have to go to school, or the person is thinking about office. It comes naturally. But if somebody shows you a photograph of your family sitting on the sunset on the beach in the sunset and observing it, and you see that photograph, then what happens? You feel good. You start smiling. So what I'm saying is positive information has to be fed inside. And that is why we have to, the thought has to be made positive by us, by an imposition. It does not happen naturally. If anybody thinks that positive thoughts will come naturally, it will not happen. That is why we have to talk positive. We have to think positive. We have to forcibly convert our negative thought into a positive thought. This has to be an effort, has to be there from our side to do it. It cannot happen naturally. Remember what I'm telling you. It's not that, if you go for a beach or you go to some meditation center, sit down there, that is not going to remain for a very long time. Because the moment you face a situation in your life, you'll again move back to negative side. And that's going to happen very fast. So what you have to do is you have to take a conscious effort to transfer your mind from the negative to the positive. And towards that, there are certain techniques that are there in this world. And what is the best technique for meditation? So Prithvi, you are doing meditation every day in your school. So what do you do when you do meditation? What do you do in your school? Can you just throw light on that? Let's understand from you what you're doing.
So we have a Sudarshan Kriya that happens every day. We've been trained for it by some teachers. So we do Kriya like Bhastika Pranayama, we do Nadi Shodham Pranayama, we do meditation, we do belly breathing exercises, Ujjayi breath breathing exercises, and a lot more. So that's
fantastic. Anyone else does meditation? Anyone else other than Prithvi? Prithvi has brought out a beautiful concept in our lovely school that he has that is conducting this meditation every day. It's so nice to hear. But is anybody else practicing meditation on a daily basis?
I do it. And what I do it is we just feel our breath. Just close the eyes and observe the warmth of the breath. And even if the thoughts coming, we don't have to react. Let them come and go. So that's what I practice.
Fantastic. Great. Now understand this thing. Now, so if Prithvi spoke about it, anybody else? Anyone else follows meditation?
No. But I want to say something that by practicing and training your thoughts, you can control your mind.
Yeah, you can definitely control your mind. It's more than control. The mind gets control on its own. I mean, you may think that you are controlling the mind, but the mind is such a beautiful thing that when you start just observing your mind, observing your thoughts, you become an observer than a reactor. That means you have to learn to become an observer outside your thoughts, saying that, okay, why am I thinking like this? Why did I get angry? So when you start getting into that practice, automatically your mind starts coming down. And that is what you call it as controlling the mind. Am I right, Anurup?
Yeah.
Yeah. So beautiful. Lovely. Anyone else would like to share their meditation practice? One thing common in what Prithvi brought out and what Sachi brought out. We all talked about, a concept of Nadi Shodhi Pranayam and then Bhastika Pranayam. What is this Pranayam? This word Pranayam has got two words in it. It's called Prana and Yama. Prana is your life energy, it's not breath, it's life energy. But yes, it is breath becomes a very beautiful aspect of this entire life energy force that is there with us. So what is it? Why we focus on this Bhastika Pranayam or Nadi Shodhan Pranayam and all that, or Anulom Vilom and all that, is because by using the breath as a tool, you are able to become an observer of the mind. Simple. Because if you do not have a tool and just close your eyes, it becomes very difficult to control the mind. Mind is going to be like a mad monkey. The mind is like a monkey, which will keep running from one branch to another branch. You're sitting in a class and you're just, closing your eyes. But if you close your eyes, suddenly your mind will go into thought. Oh, what did mama tell me in the morning? Oh, did my son have this? Oh, is the kitchen is there? Oh, suddenly, oh, my brother came last month. Oh, this happened. Mind is running like crazy. Doesn't this happen with us? Even 1 minute, your mind is not going to be static. It is constantly thinking, which is the nature of the mind. So the mind is the nature, and this is not what I am saying. This is given in the Bhagavad Gita. This is given everywhere. Even a person like Arjuna had a lot of difficulty. Arjuna is supposed to be one of the great warriors of the country, right? The greatest warriors. But Arjuna went into a neurotic state when he was fighting a battle. Why? Because his mind was running here and there. And he said, what do I do? So if a person like Arjuna is in such a distress, then we are very normal people, na, as compared to Arjuna. So if Arjuna can face that kind of a problem, hum logon ko to hona hi hai. So nothing wrong in that. So we are supposed to face that problem. This is how the human mind is. But if we want to, make this mind calmer, if we want to let this mind calm down, we have to have a tool. And what is the tool that has been given to us? It is the breath. So as Sachi said, if you are able to look at your breath, observe your breath, and see, breath is a beautiful thing. You know what is the beauty thing about breath? If you want to stop your breath, can you stop your breath? If I tell you to hold your breath for 1 second, can you hold your breath? You can hold, right? If I tell you to go underwater and hold your nose and go down, it will go down, right? So we can stop our breath. And even if you're not thinking about breath, breath is going in and out, isn't it? Whole day you are breathing. Subconsciously also it is happening. So breath is the only thing that is there available to you subconsciously also and available to you in your control also. Both these things are available in your hand. And that is why of all the things in your body, the breath is the most subtle thing that if you are able to observe, if you are able to look at, and if you're able to use as a tool, the mind will get under your control. So what in the range of ascent, body is the first part of it. That is the physical part of it. Then comes the mind. So mind is more powerful than the body. That means if I want to do something in this world, I put in my effort, right? आपको अगर दौड़ना है, आपको अगर भागना है, आपको कुछ भी करना है, तो फिजिकल बॉडी यूज होता है. लेकिन उस फिजिकल बॉडी को यूज करने के लिए what do you need to use? Your mind. Mind is the master of the body. So body का राजा कौन? Mind. Mind का राजा कौन? Breath. Simple. The breath is superior to the mind is superior to the body. So if you want to control your mind, if you want to make your mind strong, if you want to make your mind positive, you have to have control over your breath. So what we are going to do today is we're going to take you through a small, process of the meditation of the Vipasana. How many of you have heard of Vipasana? Yeah, Sachi has heard. So Sachi follows that also. Anurup, have you heard of it?
No.
So see, this word Vipasana it's a Buddhist kind of a philosophy, but then the word Vipasana comes from a Pali language, which is called to watch yourself within. Pashna means to see. Vipasana means to see within. So Vipasana is nothing but seeing within. Now in Vipasana, what happens is there is the control of the mind, which is the main focus. But what we begin with is the control of the breath or observing of the breath. So Prithvi, here we are going to take a small detour from what you have been doing in your meditation of using certain, like Soham or, doing Brastika or doing some forced breathing exercises. That is one method. But there is another methodology, which is not doing anything at all, but letting the breath flow as it is and observing it as it is. Okay. So we are going to do this exercise called Anapana meditation. And this is Anapana means what? Ana means to take in, Pana means to take out. So Anapana, taking in, taking out. So what happens is you put your focus on your nostril area and you keep on observing the breath in and out. So what I'll do is I'll open the YouTube channel and there's a small 10-minute Anapana meditation as a mini meditation. So I'm going to play that meditation from Mr. Goenka, who is the founder of Vipasana in India, the one who got Vipasana to India, Mr. Goenka. His small mini Vipasana, and this particular video is available for all of you to use on the YouTube. So if you go and put this URL there, you'll get it. And I can suggest after this session, if you really experience something good in this session, start using it daily in your life. And you know what? This kind of a meditation is to be used at any time. There is no timing for it. There is no restriction for it. You can use it whenever you want, especially for children. If you are going for an event, if you're going for an exam and tension ho raha hai, nervousness hai, so just do this meditation for 10 minutes and your nervousness is out. If you're going to give a lecture, if you're going to do for some work, any project starting, just do this meditation for 10 minutes and you're done. So shall we do this? Are all of you ready for it? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just open this mini Anapana meditation on the YouTube and I'm going to share the screen with you. Close your eyes and let us start.
Comfortably in any posture that suits you. Keep your back and your neck straight. Keep your eyes gently closed. Those who wear spectacles should take off their spectacles during meditation period. Keep your mouth gently closed and focus your entire attention on the area at the entrance of the nostrils. The area at the entrance of the nostrils. And remain aware of every breath coming in, every breath going out. Natural breath, normal breath, as it is, as it is. If it is long, it is long. If it is short, it is short. Passing through left nostril. Passing through right nostril. Or through both the nostrils. Just remain aware, do nothing. Just remain aware. Alert, attentive, vigilant, remain alert, attentive, vigilant. Constantly aware of the breath, the incoming breath, the outgoing breath, incoming breath, outgoing breath. Keep your attention steadfastly fixed on this area, the entrance of the nostrils. Like a gatekeeper, like a watchman, aware of every breath entering the nostrils, aware of every breath moving out of the nostrils. Alert, attentive, vigilant. Incoming breath, outgoing breath, natural breath, pure breath, nothing but breath. Bhavatu sabda manga.
I would like to know from you your experience of this session. I mean, of this particular meditation, whatever you did. How did you feel? Yeah, Manasvi.
It made my sleep go away.
Okay,
It makes me feel relaxed.
fantastic. That's nice. Were you distracted, Manasvi, when you were doing this? Or did the mind run away here and there, or were you able to completely focus on the breath?
Little bit.
It happens. It's natural. It's the more and more practice that you do, slowly, the mind will be completely in your control. You know, you'll be just observing even the trickle of air going into your nose. You'll be able to feel it. You'll feel nice. You'll feel the cold of the air and the warmth of the air coming out. So it's beautiful to experience if you keep practicing it. Thanks, Manasvi. Yeah, Vidya said that concentrating. What does Vidya said something here?
Can I say something?
Yes, Anurup, please.
So I feel peaceful and also the evil thoughts are actually trying to come out while concentrating on it.
Okay.
But in starting it, they will like come out. But as you do it daily, it will you will be able to like control on.
Absolutely. Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Anurup. Yeah, Prithvi. Prithvi, how was it different from your experience in your school?
So it was different in the sense that we had much less to do. Just as you stated, when we are doing Kriya in school, it's more of controlled breathing exercises, but here it is just normal breathing and letting, like here our mind controls our breath, here our breath controls the mind.
Absolutely right. Fantastic view of yours. So there the breath controls the mind. I mean, the mind controls the breath. Here the breath is controlling the mind. So this is the essence of this exercise. So in Vipassana, the concept is that, you don't control anything. You just let it be. Just let it be. Just accept things the way they are. And this is something that, as mentors, we've been telling a lot of children and people that do not have any expectations. Just accept. So however somebody is, however the state of mind is, just accept it. Moment you become an acceptor and you accept things and let them flow, things calm down, things start becoming normal. The water which was turbulent becomes peaceful and everything looks clear after that.
How was it, Sachi?
Sir, I attended the last Vipassana this January, and this was my second session. So I have been practicing.
Okay, so you're a practicing Vipassana practicing person. So for you, this is very basic. You must be doing what 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the night every day.
I do it in the morning daily. Night becomes difficult, but morning I do it.
Fantastic. I have done Vipassana twice. After that I've been practicing, but not very, very regularly. I'm going for the third Vipassana in the month of June.
I did it 2 sessions. One I did in 2003 when I was a student, and the second one 2023 January now.
Okay, so I did it in 2012 and 2013 consecutively, and then I am now going in 2023.
I want to do it every year, so that's
Great.
what the plan is.
Fantastic. I think it's a beautiful tool, and it opens your eyes to a lot of facets of
20 years gap brought me back on this track.
Fantastic. So I'm glad. I'm sure it is helping you a lot, isn't it, Sachi?
Yes, definitely. Everyone should do it.
Great, lovely. Anyone else? Ms. Varnika.
I was saying that I was able to concentrate on the breathing, and for the first time, like the distraction level was a bit less.
Fantastic. So that's a very good point from your side. So which means that, there is a tool available today with all of us, which can be used by us to ensure that we can, actually, take charge of our mind. Because this mind otherwise is a monkey that keeps running away from us, isn't it? And I think as students, as professionals, as any stage of life, one thing very important for all of us is to use time productively, isn't it? And if we do not control our mind, time just runs away. You can earn money, you can get everything back. But one thing that you can't ever get back is time. Once time goes away, it's gone with the wind. Like 10 years gone, 20 years gone. We just don't realize time just flies away. So we have to learn to keep the time very productive. And for that, you need focus, you need concentration. And for focus and concentration, you need control on your mind. And for control on the mind, you need focus on your breath. Simple. So if we do this exercise every day, I'm sure all your problems will get resolved. Okay, all these problems of, what do you call, getting into, I'm not able to do this, I'm feeling bored, I'm feeling tired, all these things will come to an end. And this is a proven aspect. I don't know, a lot of these courses are available, these children's courses are available for doing this Anapana meditation. And the best part of Vipassana and this meditation is it's all free of cost. There's no charge to it. So it's not some business or something like that where, it's like some advertising going on and somebody is not like that at all. It's more, it's like a tool which is available for people to use. It's a voluntary donation kind of a thing. If people are, so, when I attended my Vipasana course, I had people who were very, very poor doing the course with me. I also had billionaires who had come to do the course. So everybody's there together and there's no differentiation between anybody. Everybody is the same there. So that's the beauty of a tool that is available to all of us. This tool is being designed by Buddha, by Indian seers, and it is very similar to yoga. It's not different from yoga. It is something, and many people, let me ask, people are all aware about yoga. What do you think yoga is? Anyone? What is the meaning of yoga? I'm sure Sachi knows a lot, so I'll request Sachi not to speak about it. We'll ask the other students to talk about it. So let's listen from our students.
Relaxation of body and mind.
Sorry?
Relaxation of body and mind.
Relaxation of body and mind is what Varnika says. So Prithvi, do you agree with Varnika?
Sir, I feel yoga is more of control over body and mind.
Okay, so Prithvi says it is control over body and mind. So Varnika said relaxation and Prithvi said control. Would anybody, Manasvi, would you like to add some value there?
I also think yoga is I think yoga is just a mix of both control and rest.
So to tell you this word yoga, okay, is there anyone else who would like to? Anurup, what about you? I want your view also.
Controlling mind.
Controlling the mind. Okay. The word yoga, okay, it means union. What does it mean? Union. That means it talks about joining. What are we joining? What are we joining with? See, there is something called the self within us. Okay. And when I say the self, this is not Naveen or, Prithvi or Manasvi or Anurup. There is something beyond this name and form that you have. There is something called a consciousness. What is this consciousness? It's a very, very funny fact. Most of 95% of the time that we spend in our day, our consciousness is not alive. We are programmed. When you go to school, you put your tiffin in your bag, you put your bag on, you walk, we drive a car, we drive a scooter. Every time we are not conscious. Our subconscious mind is working. We are programmed. The programmed consciousness is working within it. The memory is so beautiful that it programs us in a way that I just come and do things the way I'm doing it. It just happens in a flow. So my consciousness is not alive. When we eat food, you love the taste, you eat it and you swallow it and goes inside. Are we really conscious about that food? Are we thinking about every single particle that is going into the mind? How the tongue is, how the teeth is biting it? What is the sensation coming on that part of the tongue? Which part of the tongue is getting the taste of sweetness? Which is getting bitterness? How the swallowing is happening? How it is entering into the food pipe? How it is going inside? What is happening in your stomach when it goes inside? No consciousness. Yoga is a method by which you can connect to that consciousness that is within us. Because 95% of the time when we are engaged at work, we are not at all engaged with that consciousness. We are doing it in a programmed state. And that is why the mind runs here and there. Yoga is a method by which it connects you to the existing consciousness that is there. There's a powerful consciousness which is there within you. Now, to tell you the truth, there's a lot of research happening on this in the physics space. In quantum physics, there's a research happening. They are talking about this consciousness in the cosmos. They're talking about the dark matter and consciousness there. And from there, the string theory and the vibration theory and the wave theory. And then comes the particle theory. So all those theories are getting converged into science now. But these scientific facts were known to our seers ages back. Our meditators, our seers, they're actually seen this. And we have talked about it, which we call it in the Upanishads. They are called the Brahman. The Brahman concept is nothing but the consciousness. And this consciousness is nothing but being conscious of the world. Like, for example, I'm looking at you. Am I actually looking at you? Am I actually seeing the you in you? Or am I just looking at that form and saying, okay, this person sitting in front of me with the specs is Anurup? But there is something beyond this form and shape. There is something deeper, which is very powerful, which is infinite in nature, through which if you start working, you can achieve anything in this world, because each one of us has this infinite hidden within us, which is one. If we are able to connect with this consciousness through all these principles of yoga, Vipassana, and Vipassana and yoga are very similar. Huh? There's no difference between the two. All these tools, whether it is Vipassana, whether it is this yoga, whether it is art of living, whether it is, Patanjali yoga, or every single Hatha yoga, all the yogas that you talk about, the concept is the same. The effort is to unite the physical self with the consciousness. The union of the two is what yoga is all about. So yoga is not about asanas. Yoga is not about pranayama. Yoga is, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there is Ashtanga Yoga. So all these 8 principles of yama, niyama, which is the rules to be followed, and then comes the asana, then comes the pranayama, then pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. There are 8 steps. All these 8 steps, Buddha said it is very complex, so he compressed it into 3 steps in Vipassana. So Vipassana has got something called Sheel, which is equivalent to Yama Niyama. It has got something called Samadhi, which is equivalent to your, the Pratyahara, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, and Dhyana. And then comes Pragya in Vipassana, which is equivalent to Samadhi, which says that you control the entire mind. You're completely in bliss. So that's the same principle of yoga has been simplified in Vipassana so that people can use it in a daily manner. So that is, so this yoga, meditation, they're all combined. And meditation, what we normally say, meditation doesn't happen naturally. So what they tell you is, you focus on the breath, you control the breathing, or you do breathing exercises, and through that, you stabilize the mind. Once the mind gets stabilized, then you start getting knowledge and wisdom about this consciousness. Then consciousness starts increasing on its own. You don't have to do anything. It will start increasing on its own. It's a beautiful, Sachi will tell me, when we did Vipassana, and the 9th or 10th day, the whole world seems to have come to a standstill. There's no movement. That means even if you look at a piece of a leaf, that leaf looks huge in front of you. You can see the streaks of that line in that leaf. You will start feeling it. It's a beautiful feeling. So those kind of things start happening when your consciousness gets ignited or engaged. So yoga is that. And that is what this whole session is about. Is about what is the meaning of yoga? What is the meaning of meditation? What is the meaning of why are we doing it? So that we become peaceful, so that the mind calms down, the mind comes to our control, so that we can focus on our work, so that we can put concentration into the work that we can do and achieve whatever we want to achieve with complete concentration, focus, and a single-pointed focus. Right? That is the entire essence of today's session. So to summarize, if I talk about today's session, what did we learn? Point number 1, okay, is that the body is required to do our activity. But who is the master of the body? Who is the master of the body?
Mind.
Mind is the master of the body. And who is the master of the mind? Breath. So if we follow this sequence, if we are able to observe our breath, if we are able to look at our breath and see how it is flowing, and just observe it as an observer, your mind will come under control. And if your mind comes under control, your actions will be in your control, concentration will be in control, and you can use your time productively. Right? I think I have completed my session for today, Dr. Mishra. So we can open the house for some brainstorming and listen to people's views, and then we can close the session. Over to you, Dr. Mishra.
Yeah, fantastic. I think you have summarized it also very well. I think all of us need to use our time, whether somebody is a student or a professional, everybody has to use the time effectively. And if we can practice Vipassana, this breathing exercise, what you have helped us to go through, and you can share the link of that YouTube as well.
I'll do that. I'll share it in the chat right away.
On the chat, so that people can start using it. And the best part is we can use this at any point of time. So that's the best part. So I would strongly recommend that every one of us start using that video and practice this every day. And now, if anybody has any further point to make, this is open for discussion now. And Anurup, for the next class, you have something else to share as well?
I'll try the second chapter.
Okay, fantastic.
So I think we should also mention that, I want to ask this question from all of you last week which you attended. How many of you were able to get up in the morning and exercise or do something productive after the last week's session? Or if you faced any challenges in it?
How many of you tried it?
I messaged the group on the Facebook.
Okay.
I received reply from 2-3 people recommending the people nearby me, but unfortunately the nearby ones didn't reply.
Okay.
So I enrolled myself for another classes which are early morning, so that I create indirectly a group with them and then start working.
Fantastic. The efforts are on. The results will come very soon.
I also would like to thank you for the session and take your leave now.
Okay. Thank you so
Sachi
much.
has to get into another meeting. So Sachi,
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. So
Carry on.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Anybody else would like to share anything today? Or I think today's content has been very, very deep and very effective also. So I'm sure if people can focus on the practicing of it, we will get more and more benefit out of it. And I think last time you spoke about that graph which shows that, okay, you may not be able to see the immediate effect. So we have to have that patience to do this practice every day without thinking about what's the outcome. Then eventually we will actually control ourselves eventually. And shall we talk about hint about the upcoming class, sir? Because I'm quite excited about what you're going to talk next class.
So what we're going to do is, now we have talked about the body, the mind, and the breath and all. And next class, what we're going to talk about is what are the challenges that normally we face, because whenever we start doing something, there's a lot of resistance that comes in, isn't it? You start taking up a challenge that I have to run, or I have to study, and I have to crack this exam, or I have to do this. And the moment you start doing that work, sometimes boredom hits you. Sometimes it is very tough. And then we start losing interest in it. How do we tackle this challenge? How do we tackle this challenge? And what is the method by which, what is the scientific way in which we can actually channelize our energy to ensure that we persist in doing what we are doing? Okay, there's a concept called flow. And then in that flow, there is a concept called optimized experience. And then we are going to talk about, certain other scientific methodologies, which we are going to try and implement into our lives. So that in our life, whenever we get into any kind of an activity or work, which we are going to, all of us are going to face challenges. All of us are going to face a lot of obstacles at work. How do we persist? How do we sustain our efforts? And how do we ensure that we put in our energy into our work is something that we're going to cover in the next week. Okay.
Fantastic. Great. Akshay, you would like to share anything?
No, I want to thank Naveen ji for this fantastic session he took today. And after attending this, I felt these sessions should have been open not only to students, but it's applicable to all. I mean, any age of life actually. Everywhere we can come across the challenges. I mean, this is what is going to be a solution to all our stress and all our increasing productivity and everything you say actually. I mean, I have heard about Vipasana earlier, but never gone deep into it and never tried to understand what it is. But today, first time I heard from him and I practiced it also. I felt really relaxing, though there were times I was also getting distracted. But as I mean, we know, I mean, with practice, we can master it over a period of time. But I think, yes, it was a good learning and I recommend that it is applicable for all ages actually. Yes, thank you so much for this wonderful session once again.
Anurup,
Most welcome, sir.
you want to say something, Anurup?
No.
Okay. Okay, great. So Anurup, again, looking forward to your second chapter analysis next week. Looking forward to that. And I know what Naveen sir is going to talk next week. I'm privy to that, so I'm actually quite excited and looking forward. And thank you for the class today, sir. Fantastic as always.
Most welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you again
Have a
next
great
week.
day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.